A lot of people say that this game is the best game in 2020, and others call it the best game in the 21st century. Can you believe it? Well, I think you will after seeing the game. This game was played between Daniel Dubov and Sergei Kariakan in the Russian Chess Championship. Daniel Dubov playing was white, and he opens the game with e4. Sergei Karakin plays a5. He wants to keep it solid. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5. Normal Joko piano game. Of course, that you will say in the first glimpse of the match, but actually it's not. Daniel Dubov goes for the main line, c3, knight f6. Daniel Dubov strikes in the center, plays d4. He takes d4, and here the normal thing to do is to take back the pawn, but Dubov doesn't do that. He plays b4. Sergey goes back, bishop b6, and here Dubov plays e5. He doesn't bother himself taking the pawn back. Here, the best move here is to play d5 and takes. But after all said and done, Dubov will have this pawn. I mean, he will take, Sergey will take, and then Dubov will take back, rook g8, and then Dubov have this amazing move b5. Of course, this is covered by the knight. He will have to go back and close the queen's diagonal. And you look at the queen's side, he hasn't developed a lot of pieces, and his king's side is destroyed. So Sergey didn't want to go for that. He played knight e4. Of course, the computer suggests that you will castle here and you have a nice position, but Dubov doesn't do that. He attacks the knight, bishop d5, knight takes c3, grabbing another pawn. Dubov doesn't care about material. He sacrifices another pawn. Knight takes c3, d takes c3, and here Dubov plays bishop g4, attacking the queen. Of course, Karakin played knight e7. He doesn't want to play f6. Maybe Dubov will push this pawn forward. Maybe he will take and take, and Karakin's position is, I mean, his king side will be destroyed. He's not going to be able to castle, and of course, he cannot castle now in the queen side because he hasn't developed the queen and the bishop. So yeah, he played knight e7. Dubov just castles, and when you look at the position, of course, you'll see that Sergei Karyakin is up 2 pawns, but Daniel Dubov is up in development. So he has all the compensation in the world. h6, chasing the bishop, bishop h4. Of course, the best move here is g5, but Sergei just castled. And Dubov, of course, doesn't bring the bishop back. He's asking Sergei, do you want to play g5? But Sergei develops the rook instead. Sergei unpins. He plays queen e8. And here Dubov brings the bishop back because now he is unpinned and he can now. Dubov doesn't want to lose his bishop, especially because his bishop pair are fully operational. So he brings the bishop back. Sergei plays on the queen side. He plays e5. Of course, he's asking Dubov, do you want to capture here and give me this semi-open file, or you will let me capture and have this amazing pawns on the queen side, protected pass pawns. Here, Dubov plays a fantastic move, bishop f6. That's savage. I mean, that's amazing because if he takes the bishop, then e takes f6. Of course, this knight is pinned to the queen. He cannot move the knight. And the next move, maybe he will play like, I don't know, d5. Dubov will take, and he will also take this rook because he cannot take due to the pin. So Sergei, of course, didn't take. Instead, he played a4. Dubov played bishop c4, knight g6. Finally, he brings the knight into the game, but actually, Dubov plays another amazing move. He plays queen d3. He's threatening to take this knight. Of course, he will not going to take back because it's been to the bishop. So Sergey plays d5. He takes d6 en passant. Bishop e6. Sergey wants to trade this amazing bishop that's slicing all over the board, but actually he gives Dubov a fantastic move to crush Sergey Kariakan, the challenger of Magnus Carlsen in 2016. So can you pause the video and find the move that Dubov played? Here Dubov sacrificed his queen. I mean, he played queen takes knight. Of course, you have to accept the queen because if you don't, he will take this pawn and it's checkmate. So you have to take the queen, and now he doesn't take with the bishop, he takes with the rook, threatening to take the queen, and of course threatening all sorts of nasty discoveries due to the bishop. So here, Sergey, of course, plays the only move that keeps his queen. He plays queen f7. Here, Dubov brings the bishop back. Of course, he doesn't want his bishop to be taken by Sergey, but also he makes Sergey keeps the queen. So king h8. He's threatening to take the queen and also protecting the bishop. So queen f6. Dubov brings the rook into the seventh rank. Rook e7. Of course, he was threatening to take this pawn. So, of course, Sergey has to give some material back. So bishop takes g8, rook takes, d takes c7, creating a pass pawn for Dubov. Sergey plays queen c2, threatening to take the bishop. So Dubov protects the pawn and protects the bishop. Bishop e5. So bishop takes f2 is protected by the queen. Dubov just calmly plays king h1. The king is completely safe. He brings the bishop back. Dubov creates some breathing room for the king. h3, king h7, rook e1, protecting the bishop. And of course, the next move he will play rook d7, bring the bishop here, bring the rook on the other rook on the seventh rank, giving more pressure to this pawn, adding protection to this pawn. a3, king h2. Dubov's king is completely safe here. G5, knight d4, threatening to take the queen. Of course, Sergey will not take this knight because he will lose the only attacker that he has. Of course, the rook here is stuck guarding this pawn. So he doesn't take, he plays queen c4, knight f5, adding another attacker to this pawn. Dubov Karakin takes another pawn, queen takes b4. Dubov adds another protection to the pawn. Next thing he will push and then bring the queen into the game. King goes after the knight. He threatening to take the knight, but even Dubov gives him the knight. Rook takes g7. Of course, he cannot take with the rook because he will bring a queen into the game. So he has to take the knight. Here, rook takes rook. And here, Sergey takes the pawn. Bishop takes. So now it's a queen against two rooks and bishop. Can Sergey Karakin survive the game? Let's see. He plays queen b2. Dubov plays rook c5, king e4, and after rook d8, Sergey Karyakin resigned the game. Why did he resign the game? Because it's mate in 2. Dubov will play rook e5. Let me show it. Maybe Sergey will play maybe he'll take this pawn. Checkmate in two moves. So here Sergey Kariakin resigned the game. Actually, Dubov crushed his dreams of winning the Russian chess championship title. Because if Kariakin had won that game against Dubov as black, he would won the entire championship. But Dubov crushed him and played a fantastic game. I mean, this is brutal. This is savage. And so yeah, that was the game. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you liked the game. Thank you for watching, and I will see.
Kraken. This is the game we've been paying attention a lot recently. And Bishop e6 was played, and basically in the intermission I've checked the lines that I've been talking about. Everything was correct, but Bishop e6 was my little miscalculation because knight f4 could be the move, and then position still remains quite complicated, but looks like black is out of danger for some reason. Queen g6 was played instead, double exclamation mark move. After g6, yeah, and just white can take with the rook, not with the bishop, which is probably more, which is just better. And again, if bishop 7, rook, queen f7 is the move.